Welcome to the DL Gaming Podcast. I'm Bobby.
I'm Nick.
I'm Amanda.
I'm hungover, and if you know me, that's very rare. I have to drink quite a bit for that to happen. But I went over to Chad's house and visited his new house. He's been in there for about a year. I hadn't visited him, but yeah, we had a really good time. It was almost like a mini DLG con. We played Binding of Isaac. We played some Commander decks. We played Cuphead. It was awesome. And then our kids get along super well. So like they're little homies right away. But it's funny because his kid's half Filipino, and her cousins came over. And Luna was as tall as their 4-year-old. So she looks so huge compared to them. But yeah, and she calls Chad's baby, who's only like a couple months younger, baby. Like, oh, that's definitely a baby because she's half her size. You know what I mean? She's Luna's in the like 90 percentile. Your kid's in the 99 percentile, right?
Yeah, she's a gigantic baby. We'll go to the park and there'll be like a 4-year-old, and she'll just like pat him on the head and be like, "Baby."
The thing is too is people when they see such a big kid, they don't know that they're two, so they treat them like a 4-year-old, and they're like talking to them in full sentences and stuff like that. But yeah, that's not gonna fly. They're still little kids. But anyway, I had a great time. Yeah, he loved all the games. First time he had played any of those, but he liked the Binding of Isaac a lot. He wanted to just keep playing and playing and playing. It might be the best. It might be the best video game adaptation board game.
I don't agree, dude.
No?
No. Oregon Trail? Oregon Trail's pretty awesome
I haven't
and
played
really
with you guys
versatile.
yet. I haven't played
Cuphead's
with you.
pretty good too.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Chad was a former caster on here, forever part of the family. He's one of the original 3, right? You, Bobby,
He's OG.
Emilio.
Yeah. I think I convinced him. I was like, dude, DLG Con is basically this, minus the kids jumping all over us and losing our dice. Like that for 3 days. And he's like,
Well, he
"All right."
went to the first one. I met him
He
at
did.
the first one.
Yeah,
he
he
knows.
just kind of like rolled through. He wasn't there.
That's
like,
true.
He
Yeah.
didn't participate. But yeah, maybe I'll get him to come out this year.
I haven't seen Chad in like 18 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what about you, Bobby? When's the last time you seen Chad?
The first DLG Con.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been about 4 years.
Oh, and then
Well, he's a busy man.
he hit 5 years on at Blizzard. I posted some pictures. They gave him a real sword, a real like Alliance sword. I think it's in the Discord. Did you see it, Sniper?
I wonder
in
if you
real
got to
life
choose
share? I
saw
whether it was like Alliance or Horde. Like
That
if
thing-
you chose Horde, if you got like an axe.
That thing weighs 35 pounds, and it's not that long. So it's just a sturdy piece of. You could easily kill people with it. Easily, like it's a real
That's
sword.
awesome.
Yeah. I guess there's not very many of them, so some people there's one on sale on eBay for $20,000 right now. So
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty
Wow.
fucking cool. I made the joke that for 5 years I got a foam dump truck keychain. So different companies, different perks.
That's very true.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing mentioning Blizzard. This is a video game podcast, so moving on to on the radar
Is this
games
not my
that have
life?
come to our attention.
I was doing this last week, Amanda, when you weren't here. I was in charge
I
of
heard,
transitions.
yeah.
Not a good time.
I heard, yeah, it's all right. It's back. I'm back, baby. And starting with bringing it back, we bringing the spirits back through a bridge. I put on the radar Kenna, Bridge of the Spirits. It's this story-driven action adventure kind of game where you're exploring a bit with fast-paced combat. And it came out September 26th, but I can't remember where I found it. I'm sure it popped up on my little Discovery queue thing. And it just looks like a fun game to play and explore that has a lot more story. So Bobby's not going to check it out, which is cool because I would like to check it out. So you'll interact with like all these different little spirits, and you're going to help free them that are trapped in like some village. And it's just supposed to be a beautiful, kind of reminds me in a way of the mechanics of It Takes Two, which is cool. But I don't think it is. It's only single player. And so, but it has a lot of like really good combat moments and rotations and different combinations that you could use, and it just looks really cute and pretty and fun.
It's a beautiful game.
Yeah, it looks very beautiful.
Yeah, it looks like
So far, very positive reviews, 91%.
very good.
Very positive. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Nice.
looks pretty.
Yeah, it looks like little minion spirits help you out to accomplish tasks. Maybe. Yeah, it looks good.
Dude, you want to know some spirit shit that looks creepy as fuck?
Hmm.
Is Silent Hill F. So for those who don't know, Konami had their little Silent Hill festival this past week. They announced 3 Silent Hill games as well as a Silent Hill movie. And I believe the guy who directed the second game, which is the most popular Silent Hill, is directing the movie. So,
Ooh.
and it's supposed to be a direct adaptation of the game, apparently. If you're looking at the screen right now, if you're a live viewer, you're watching some Silent Hill F right now. It's very midsummer-ish as far as like how the vibe goes and like horror. Apparently, what it looks like is like there's like these capillaries that grow on like the floor and all over the walls, all inside the city, and whatever they grab, they turn into flowers. But like the capillaries look like blood vessels and things like that, but the flowers look normal. They haven't shown any gameplay. It's just a trailer, like a thematic trailer. They did release some information about the game itself. It's going to be set in 1960s Japan, or 1960s or 1950s, one of the two. Pretty sure it's 60s. No, it's 60s. 1960s Japan, so that vibe is pretty different from what we see in video games. I mean, if you guys want to check out the last of this trailer, it's pretty gross, especially if you have that fear of holes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 games that they announced was a full remake of Silent Hill 2 that's coming for on PC and PlayStation 5 immediately. I don't know. PlayStation 5 immediately, and then on consoles and PC a year later. I don't remember what the last
Oh.
Silent Hill game is, but I'm pretty sure it's a mobile game. I can't remember. Don't call me on that. But yeah, Silent Hill F.
Yeah,
That's cool.
man. That was creepy.
I think that looks amazing.
Yeah.
I love Silent Hill. I am a little bitch and cannot I was wondering with the F, and at the end, yeah, they put the F like it's forte, like in music when you're playing really loud, like it's interesting. I wonder why they have it with the F. But anyway, yeah, dude, that looks amazing. I loved Silent Hill. I used to watch that all the time growing up. Silent Hill 2, my buddy played, because I can't play it. Yeah, I'm a pussy, so I can't play it. But I mean, my friend played a lot of it, and so, dude, I'm excited for any new Silent Hill thing. I think that looks cool and unique and different, like a different direction, but still very Silent Hill.
That is so aggressive.
I am going to be playing this with Leslie for sure because I love playing spoopy games with her.
Can I watch?
I mean, if you want, I can try to stream on the PlayStation 5. It's pretty easy, apparently.
There's a
weird.
and then I saw today on my queue, Silent Hill 2 has a Steam page now. I don't know when the TBA is. Yeah. Cool. That looks good. I have Hyper Demon. Is a crazy looking game. I don't want to play it. It's insane looking. It looks like I don't know if this word is right, Bobby, but is it stereoscopic, kind of like a fish eye lens. Fast forward a little bit, dude, or get to the gameplay. So this is the same people that made Devil Daggers, Bobby. Do you remember that game?
Oh yeah, it was a great game.
Yeah, Devil Daggers was
my
awesome.
God.
And but it was black and white, so it was a lot of this. You're kind of like shooting these daggers or whatever spell out of your hand, and it's wave survival, and everybody. I mean, it sold a lot of copies because people were trying to beat each other's high scores, and you could after you played, you could see all your friends' high score, and we were just like going back and forth trying to do as best as we can, and it's just like crazy amount. It's bullet hell, but in first person. But this version, they added color, and the view is insane. Like I'm saying,
Yeah, it's like that fishbowl lens kind of
with,
thing,
like,
and
lens flare.
it's like an LSD trip
Yeah.
of like a shooter. Yeah, like this popped up on my Discovery queue too, and I was watching it, and I couldn't stay watching it because I was just like, dude, that's just like sensory overload.
Yeah,
I think if you do drugs and you play this game, it'll look normal.
Yeah,
That's
it
probably
might.
what it will
That
happen.
might be the key.
Or
dude.
you're gonna throw up. For sure. It's crazy. Overwhelmingly positive though.
Yeah, Devil Daggers was awesome. How much is this?
$15.
$15. Yeah, not for me, man. Too much. Too sensory overload. But very
Mhm.
interesting. That must have been a strong decision by somebody. Like, no, man,
It's
we're
trippy.
gonna make it look crazy, and they're like, it's not gonna sell.
Sells like hotcakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I
What do
feel
you
like I'm
know?
on the cusp of an epileptic attack.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
You mean a seizure?
Yes.
Wow. All right. The game I got this week is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Cowabunga Collection. I didn't know this existed. This just popped up on my Steam queue, and I loved these games. These beat 'em up brawler games, all the Nintendo ones, the Super Nintendo ones, played the hell out of these. The arcade ones, loved them. This is just a collection of all these games. It came out about 6 weeks ago, and it was $40, but it's on sale right now, I think, for about 30. Gotta say, personal favorite was the one on the, I think, no, it was the Nintendo. The second Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That one, absolutely loved. And also Turtles in Time, that was a good one. Apparently, there are a lot of these games after that that I wasn't even aware of. And those are included in the bundle, as well as like original Japanese ones that weren't released in America. A lot of people don't know this, but there was a Turtles fighting game too.
I
think
just
on
saw
the-
some screens of it.
Yeah, it was like Street Fighter, but with Ninja Turtle characters, and it was actually pretty good. But it wasn't a very popular game. It didn't catch on like Clay Fighter, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. Did Clay Fighter catch on?
I don't know. I thought that was a funny.
I feel like you're living your dream.
Yeah.
Clay
Where's
Fighter was
Clay
good,
Fighter?
man. Clay Fighter, and the one with the dinosaurs, Brutal Rage, I think it was called.
Dude,
that one
yeah.
was good.
Carnal
Primal
Rage?
Rage? Is it
Was-
Primal Rage?
I
It
don't
might be
remember.
Primal Rage. Yeah, can we
Primal Rage.
Can we get a fact check on that? That was a good one. But yeah, it's got all these Ninja Turtle games all in one bundle here. The price tag's a little high, but
Is it like 15 games? I've seen like 20 games.
yeah, if you
maybe?
scroll down, it lists all the games, and there's quite a few.
Yeah.
There they are. It's quite a bit of them. But they do a really good job with these. I've picked up a few of these bundles of these old school games, the Disney Afternoon collection, the Mega Man X collection. There's several Mega Man ones, and they preserve the game. There it is. It was Primal Rage. Yeah, great game. But they preserve the original game, but they put in all the modern inventions that make it playable again, like saving the state or online multiplayer co-op.
Not requiring quarters.
Yeah, not requiring quarters. Yeah, because that's what a lot of the beat 'em up brawler games were designed as, just to get you to put in as many quarters as possible. Like that Simpsons game. That game is not built for you to beat. I mean, unless like, you do some weird like speed run or like play it incessantly where you like memorize the attack patterns or something. But it's just kind of designed just to eat up a bunch of quarters.
Yeah. But when
Yeah.
you play them under these conditions, they end up being not as frustrating
Mm-hmm.
because you just come right back, right?
Yeah. And they also have like achievements and stuff like that too. So yeah, I do like these bundle games, but I tend to wait till the prices drop. $40 is a little high for me.
I'm not 100%, but I want to say I saw this on Game Pass, probably. I'm not 100% though.
Are you thinking of the new Turtles game that got released? The one where they the guys that did the Streets of Rage
Maybe.
4?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Could be that one.
I think that one's on Game Pass. I
Yeah.
can't remember that game. I played it. I beat it, but can't remember what it was called.
Okay, and then last I have a Plague Tale Requiem that came out last week or sometime this week. There's a sequel to my game of the year from some year, Plague Tale Innocence. I really, really enjoyed that game, and it's one of the few games where I was really into the story actually, and I want to play the sequel for two reasons. One, it's getting very good reviews. It's like at 90%. And it continues the story. It picks up where the
Immediately
last
where
one.
you left off.
Well, I don't know. Your younger brother seems maybe a couple years older, so some things has gone down in the interim. But Yeah, I mean, if it's anything like the first one, and the reviews are already good, I want to play it. I haven't been played any long form games because God of War is my long form game right now. But I have a feeling this is not going to be on Game Pass very long. So I think I might jump over to Game Pass just to play this and see if it sticks. And then if not, then I'll go back to God of War.
I heard they
whenever.
removed the original Plague Tale from Game Pass.
Interesting. That's an
Yes,
odd move.
They did. I can't play it anymore.
Yeah, that's an odd move because like usually you put out the first one for free or whatever to try to boost sales on the second one. But yeah, I'm great. I'm so glad it's on Game Pass because it's $50 on Steam and probably worth it. You know?
I've been seeing a lot of commercials for this game.
Yeah, it's like a small French developer, and they're doing AAA content with a AA budget. So good on them.
Very cool.
Yep.
I mean, speaking of also popping in and getting something free when you can, like Game Pass, Epic, if anybody remembers that, has a game out there for free. It's Evoland. It came out in 2013, and I put that on my radar because it sounds. This is the first time I've heard of this game, and it seems really cool because you're journeying through a history of action adventure gaming, like through the decade of like the original Pokemon and Zelda and like, but it's its own game. You're just kind of going through the style and the gameplay. So it seems like a living history video game to me,
Yeah.
which is so cool. I love when shit does that. I love when developers create games like that, and I love playing games like that. And so this is free on Epic right now. I'm thinking I'm gonna pick it up and check this out because it's $10 on Steam, which isn't a lot, but I mean, you can get it for free. Why not get it for free? You know? And it has very positive views over time, like 83% positive.
Another
But like I
Chad.
said, it just seems interesting.
Chad name drop here. He wanted to give this game of the year back when he played this. He thought it was so interesting that you go from 8-bit to 16-bit to 64-bit as the story's progressing. There's also
Yeah.
an Evoland 2 that I think takes that even further, where you just go up into modern day. There's an Evoland 2 as well. But yeah, he loved it. I never played it, but I've always thought it was a great concept.
I've always
Well,
liked
it's
playing this.
free on Epic right now
There we
if
go.
you want to check it out.
This reminds me of so in San Jose, there's a museum called the Museum of Modern Sciences, right? And they used to have for 4 years a video game exhibit, and they had like an area where it was like the evolution of graphics in video games, and they used Zelda as like one of the like key demonstrations for it, and it was. This reminds me of it exactly. Like it's kind of trippy actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I
'Cause-
said, free on Epic. Pretty cool.
Zelda's been
Pretty
there the
neat.
whole time, so it's a good benchmark.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
All right, time to talk about some games that we have played. Emilio, looks like you've got a lot here.
Yeah, but I'm going to talk about two of them at the same time, pretty much. I played 2 vampire survival games. That's what I'm going for, or with the genre. So Rogue Genesia, I talked about when I played the demo during Next Fest? No, before Next Fest. And I said it was the best looking of these vampire survival. It kind of looks like Octopath Traveler a little bit. It has some of that, portrait mode type phasing out of what you're not focusing on. And it's at like a 2.5D, so you kind of look like a real character running around in a real field. It's pretty cool. It's definitely the best looking graphics I've seen in one of these. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I bought 2 games. I bought this and I bought Brotato. Brotato is you play as a potato, and it's the same thing, survival game. But one is like new, and the other one has been around. Brotato's been around a little bit longer. Has overwhelmingly positive. Has 5,000 reviews, and by all accounts, you would think like it's a better game, But and it is. It probably is. It's been around longer. It's It's not in early access, I don't think, anymore, and it's got the number. It's got all kinds of stuff. It got tons of characters. It's got tons of abilities. It did all the numbers. It has, it's balanced, and it's still in early access, but it's way further along than Rogue Genesia. But I just got captured by the look. If I'm going to be looking at a screen for hours and hours, I need more than 3 colors. So just the graphics alone is almost enough to like carry this game. Plus, like, it's a whole field. I know it doesn't matter because it just repeats after a while. It's kind of like an old cartoon. But on Brotato, it's like you're playing by a 4x4 grid. It's like tiny. There's just nowhere to go. I don't know. Like I said, Brotato probably has more things going for it, but I think Rogue Genesia has more potential. So I returned Brotato, and I was playing Rogue Genesia. And there's not much there.
How much longer has Brotato? Because Brotato is released 8 days older than Rogue Genesis.
Well, in those 8 days, they did a lot of fucking number crunching.
Fucking lot of work.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh man, that's pretty rough.
Man, no, it's rough getting fact checked live, dude. I feel your pain, Nick.
Dude, every day of my life. This is what it's like having a wife, by the way. She's like, Nicholas, you didn't fall in the 4th grade. I'm like, you don't know that. She's like, your mom told me. Just shut up. I'm like, all right.
Damn. Hate to see it.
All
I'm
right.
just kidding. I love
Nick,
Leslie.
what you got?
So me and Leslie, speaking of my wife, we love playing co-op games together. She's always a co-op partner that's reluctantly wanting to play. We played a Warhammer game, surprise, surprise. It's one that we've been waiting a little bit to come out. It's called Shootas, Blood and Teef. And it's kind of like a papercraft game, at least the cutscenes, right? But as far as like the gameplay and everything, it's a side scroller 2D shooter.
Like Metal Slug.
Kind of like Metal Slug. Man, are the voice lines hilarious? Is the story is hilarious? We did run into a couple bugs. Like one time, I disappeared for Leslie. I was still able to play and kill stuff. We just had to complete the level with me being essentially invisible for her. It's interesting. So we've beaten 3 bosses so far. We've beaten a tank, like a super tank, and then like an orc boss. The game is kind of challenging on the normal difficulty. Me and Leslie will die quite often. As far as like things to praise the game for, it's fun and its attitude. It's also only $17 right now. It's not coming out on console or anything for a while. I believe until like December for PS5. But right now on PC, it's on sale for 10% off. It's normally $20. It's 4-player co-op. What's really nice though is that you can customize your character to make them look extremely different. So it's not easy to lose each other on screen. There is friendly fire, even if you turn it off, as bad as it sounds.
Because you
There's
can
friendly
explode
fire
a
with
barrel.
explosions.
Yeah.
And fire.
Yeah.
There's a couple of times where me and Leslie lit each other on fire. And what I said about this game when I played the demo is still very true. You don't need to know anything about Warhammer to play this game at all. And Leslie thought the opening cinematic and the opening cutscene was hilarious. She's like, this game is really fun. It's not going to permanently replace Isaac because it's not a roguelite. The unlock system is quite nice. You find all kinds of loot, but the main resource is teeth, as weird as it sounds. You use the teeth to unlock stuff, and every gun has 3 variants. So you have the standard version and then 3 variants. So for example, like the shotgun, there's a double barrel shotgun where it has 4 barrels instead of 2, and you can shoot 4 shots instead of just 2. But the cool variant is like a laser shotgun that has lasers that bounce around all the place that light people on fire. But the thing is, like, its spread is horrendous. Like, it just takes up half the screen.
Hey, Nick, so you bought 2 copies of this?
Yeah, so I bought 2 copies. I might return 1 copy. The thing is, like, local online, I mean, local multiplayer is kind of funky. The online multiplayer is still pretty easy. So I still have time to return it.
So you're saying the couch co-op wasn't working as well as each having a computer?
Each having a computer, we played the online co-op. The couch co-op, I try to get working by myself, but it's like detecting the remote as player 1 still, and like the keyboard as player 1 too as well. And it's like, I don't know, it's a little confusing for me at least to get it set up.
All right. Interesting.
But this would be a great game to play with like Mila, by the way.
Did you play
It's,
with mouse and keyboard or controller?
I play with mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, because anytime you have that reticle, or not a reticle, but like a pointing laser that spins 360, a mouse is always the best way.
Oh yeah, hands down. Even Leslie was like, "Yeah, I prefer to play with a mouse and keyboard." So
Yeah.
I don't have a second mouse and keyboard, so we had to play with 2 computers.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, and I actually, now that you say that, I can't imagine playing this on PS5 because of that reticle thingy. It requires so many. You're constantly moving and you're constantly being attacked from all directions, so you have to have that quickness with the mouse.
All right. Cool.
Yeah,
I'm
check
glad
out
it's good.
Shootas, Blood and Teeth.
Cool. All right, this week, as promised, I played The Case of the Golden Idol. This is not really a point-and-click adventure game, but a puzzle adventure game that is not made by Lucas Pope. I don't know why I thought that, but it is endorsed by him, and I can see why. It's a very good game, and it's kind of like Oberdin, but not as good. The game is very good. Oberdin's like a masterpiece, in my opinion, so of course it's not as good as that, but I think this game is actually very good. If you look at it, when I first saw this game, I thought, oh, it's kind of like ad-libs in a way. Like you have to fill in the blanks. You collect these words by searching an area, and then you fill in the blanks to try to figure out what happened. And it's kind of like that. They give you a few different puzzles. So first you examine this area, or there might be multiple screens you need to examine. And it's like a hidden items game where you have to click on things, and then they give you words. Like cigar or a name or something. And then you can use those words to solve a couple different puzzles. One is always just name the people that are involved. And then from that, you also can see what they say and other information from the screen, and you use it to, like a detective, figure out what happened. It starts you off very easy. The first 2, I feel like, are really, really easy. And then it jumps in chapter 3 significantly in difficulty. I'm on chapter 5 or 6, I think, and I don't know how many total there are.
Damn.
Yeah.
I got to chapter 3 and was like, no. Honestly, I was mad because I think it was the one with Sebastian. I'm not gonna give it away with the spoilers, but it was essentially the dude that went out hunting and then ate, and I did not agree. I did not agree at all. I was like, I did not come to that decision. I don't think you're correct, but fine. And then it significantly got harder, and I was like, this is a good game, but not for me.
It's surprisingly difficult. So you're describing the second level with the hunting accident, but the third one where it gets really difficult. I was in the same position as you, where I was like, this is impossible. I know what this is. I know I have the right answer, but the game is telling me that's incorrect. And I thought there must be something I'm missing. And I didn't want to click on the hints. I came back to it later, and I looked over everything again, all the different areas, and I noticed a key in a door from a certain angle. And I thought, oh, that person would have had access to get into that room with the key in the door. And then it made sense. Oh, okay, I know what the answer is, and I was able to fill it out. The same thing happened in one of the other levels. I finally, at some point, noticed one detail, and you really do feel like a detective when you're playing this game. It's a little bit of Clue. It's
That's
a little
hard
Sherlock
to do,
Holmes.
man.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
tough to do that in a game, but this game does it beautifully, I think.
I agree.
But there was one detail that I had overlooked that once I had seen it, I realized, oh, that's why this is incorrect, and it had to do with time. I thought I was looking at the people and where they were at the time that I was investigating, but then there was a document that showed me, oh, these were the games that was played. This is game 1, 2, and 3. And I realized, oh, the crime happened during game 2, and this person wasn't there during game 2. Blew the case wide open.
Awesome.
Yeah, it really is great. And the levels get more and more challenging. And when I start a new one, it's a little overwhelming because
So much new information. all at
yeah.
once.
So
Yeah.
the first level starts you out with just one thing. There's 2 characters and 1 action's happening. It's very simple. But by the time you get to, I think the 4th one, there's like 4 different areas you have to explore. There's like 6 different people, maybe more.
Are they unrelated, Bobby?
No, that's what's really cool. It's a story that carries on, and it's about this golden idol. And the first one takes place like way back in the past, like where it originated from or how the person first got it. And then it kind of follows their lineage and how it was handed down and changed hands and like all this mysterious drama that's happened around this golden idol. So it's each level builds upon each other. And also you need to pay attention to each level because the people will reappear in other levels, and or maybe it'll be their son or their nephew, or maybe there will be a clue in a previous level that applies to the new one and will help you figure things out. So it all builds on top of each other. You can't just cut straight to level 5, you know.
Which also probably means you don't want to like let this game sit for too long because you want it fresh in your mind. Fresh-ish.
Yeah.
It is one, and that's a lot of puzzle games.
Yeah.
Honestly, is it's so hard. The re-entry into this game after a long absence is very difficult, and that will definitely be the case with this game. Even on a specific level, like that's a good stopping point. I really don't like to stop in the middle of the level, although I do like that I can just click out of the game and it saves all my progress, like what names I figured out, what empty blank spaces I've filled in.
How
So-
could it save all of that data?
Well, it doesn't reset it, which I was relieved to find out because I didn't. It would have made it so much more difficult. But when I do come back to playing this game, I do have to go back and look at all the different areas and kind of reacquaint myself with it because it's a difficult game. It's very challenging. Christian, can we look up real quick and see how many chapters there are in this? I'm curious how far I am into this.
Bobby is the
I'd like to go back to this game. This game is really great.
Yeah, I think like Bobby said, maybe just getting that third puzzle, you might be like, once it happens, you're like, oh, I need more of this. I need to, bust the case wide open a few times. It's weird, Bobby, how one little piece of information can change the whole thing.
Well, it just takes one thread to unravel the whole thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's true with all the cases in real life and stuff too. You
Yeah.
know, like
If the
one
glove
little
doesn't
detail
fit,
can.
The glove doesn't fit, you know?
Must have quit. That's
Remember
right.
that
But
dude,
no,
yeah.
I'd like to go back and visit Case of the Golden Idol because I love that each chapter it does kind of connect through one character as well, and their lineage. And I think it's super cool and it's a great detective game. But
Mhm. Yeah,
it does
chapter
get a
5
little
is-
overwhelming in the very beginning when there's especially level 3 onwards because I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like I said, 3 is a huge jump in difficulty. Okay, so there's 12 chapters, so I'm almost
Jeez.
halfway through.
You're going to go all the way in, man?
Damn.
I don't know. We'll see, man. It could get if it continues to progress in difficulty like it is, it's going to be very challenging.
I guess you can't brute force these things, huh? There's just too many combinations. Just throw in.
You can get to a point. So the game will tell you that 2 or less answers are incorrect if you get to that point. So you can get to a point where it'll say you're very close, but it won't. It'll always say 2 or less. So you can't move things around, and then it'll say 1 or less.
Right.
So it's very clever in the way that it does that. It remains challenging.
Is the pickle man as ominous as he looks?
I haven't got to the pickle man yet. I don't know where he's going to come in. I did
No
that
Pickle
level
Man
with
yet.
the guy bursting into flames.
It's
But
There was a
Pickle
cute
Rick.
Pickle Man.
in this game, it doesn't tutorialize you in any way. I think you just jump right in, and I wasn't even sure what I was doing. I was very confused at first. I kind of stumbled through the first 2 levels, and then once I figured out, like, oh, this is how the game works, then I went back and looked at the first 2 levels and kind of just absorbed the information there for what might be relevant for the other chapters or other cases. So it's a great game. I definitely recommend it. If you played Oberdin and you like that game, this is right along. It's in the same vein. So I'd highly recommend this game.
The
How much
graphics
is
look
it?
like early Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, the graphics are not super great. Game is $18, fair price. And I think if you look up like a walkthrough of this game, it's gonna be like what 2 hours or something. But that's not how long it's gonna take you to beat
Right.
this game. There's a lot of contemplation, a lot of thinking involved. It's very difficult to judge how long this game should take.
It's
you.
2 hours if you make no mistakes.
Yeah,
and
if you know
if
exactly
know
what you're
everything,
doing,
yeah.
you're just
Right.
filling.
And
in
you'll
the
make
blanks.
mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on how good of a detective you are.
Well,
Yeah, I found too, like, I feel like a lot of times graphics, they could go either way. I feel like it does depend on the game. And like with this game and the graphics that it is, I like the graphics for this kind of a game. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
There's just some graphics that are just absolute trash. Like the game I'm going to talk about next, the Isle of Pan. Garbage. So, moving on. I found this game on the Next Fest and I tried the demo. And because I was curious, this is a bit like kind of Pokemon Snap or whatever, if you remember that game back in the day where you're just going around and you're just surveying a land and taking pictures of things. And I was like, this looks like it would be trippy and kind of crazy, and you're just taking pictures of it. It'd be awesome. It wasn't. They show you all of the cool stuff in the trailer, and then you get to see none of that when you play the game. You walk around. Actually, you get to see a little bit of what you're seeing if you see the little green, cute meadow and stuff. But it was boring. Like I just thought it was super boring. You're walking around and the graphics looked absolutely terrible, and there wasn't much to the game, and it wasn't even much that was cool looking to the game. I don't know. I was severely disappointed. It's supposed to come out in December 2022, but it's a no for me, dog. Even
savage.
like in VR, it was still like no.
Take that, Isle of Pan.
Yeah, not a fan.
Get wrecked.
Fuck off.
Fuck off. All right. So I became obsessed with the game this weekend. I talked to Chad or like the day before I was going to head up there, like Thursday or something. He's like, "Hey, have you tried Marvel Snap?" And it's a mobile game. And I'm like, I know he's like a big mobile game guy. He's always playing those catch 'em games and all that stuff, the Star Wars, all that stuff. He plays a lot of them. So I was like, I don't want to go down that road, but I was like, whatever, I'll give it a shot. So, and I'm glad I did. The closest thing I can, if anybody's played 13 card poker, that's like as close as I can like say what it is. There's 3 lanes, and you want to win 2 of the 3 lanes by the end, and you have characters, Marvel characters, all the most popular ones, and they do different things. They have different power amounts, but it's not like Magic where they're fighting each other or anything like that. All you have to do is have the most power rating in one of the lanes, and you'll win that lane. There's only 6 rounds. A whole game is like 3 minutes, maybe 2-3 minutes. It's super fun, very casual, but also it forces you. You can only play in ranked. So after you play your initial, like, I don't know, 10 matches of like learning how to play, you're forced into ranked from then on. So the experience cubes, you play for experience cubes, and it's kind of like an ante. So you can like ante up, and you have to play 1 cube per round. There's 6 rounds, whatever. So it ends up, however it works out, the minimum you can lose is 1 cube each or 2 cubes each. But if you think you're going to win for sure, the earlier on you snap, basically doubling down, you're doubling the amount that you're risking. And so the other player, if they feel really bad about their hand or how they're going, they can fold, they can get out of the game and only lose their ante, much like poker, or they can match your snap and double up as well. And so the risks for everything get doubled. And so this is how you level up. So if you're level 15 and you lose a bunch of matches that you snapped in a row, you could be level 12 like in a few minutes, I think a lot of casual people are playing this right now, I don't think they don't know like advanced tactics and stuff. Haven't been playing card games their entire lives. So Chad and I are just like fucking wrecking people all the way through. But you get to a certain point where, like I found my level. I'm like right around 28, and I'm fluctuating. I'm going up, leveling, but yeah, there is consequences to losing. As far as the pay to win, there's none of that. There's no rarity in the cards. The cards, like my best deck is still predominantly the first cards that I got. Like there's no like super rare card that's gonna destroy. The only thing you level up cards, but it's only aesthetic. They only get prettier. So as you level up the aesthetic, you'll unlock more cards, and your deck is only 12 cards too. It's very accessible. The other thing that keeps the game really fresh is the 3 lanes. Each one has its own rules going on. So it might be like a Central Park, and so it fills the game board with squirrels. And so that has all kinds of weird things that does. Or the Danger Room, where any creature put there has a 25% chance of dying as soon as you put it there. Or the Gamma Room, where on turn 5, everything here will become a Hulk, which is a 12-point creature. So all kinds of stuff is going on, but it's not hard. Very easy to pick up. Probably, I wouldn't say super hard to master, but I'm having a great time with it.
I don't really understand the mechanics of the game. So is it? I know the 3 lanes, but basically, do you play hero like cards that have heroes on them, and they just have a number that's like
How much
like,
power they have? Yeah.
Okay, and so you want to have the most power?
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. But then each, they all have little abilities, right?
Oh, okay.
So
they
like
do things as you play them.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Odin will make, and everybody who had a reveal ability, which is like, because you can't see what the other person is doing. You do your move, they do their move, and then it's revealed at the same time. You flip your cards at the same time, and then whatever goes down happens. If you play Odin, all the reveal abilities of all your cards double again. So you build a deck around him. You'll just, because he's a 6-drop, he's the last one you put down. So it'll be like double all your reveal abilities. So you'll build a reveal deck just around, like I said. And anyway,
so what's the catch here? Like, how do they monetize this?
Just a season pass, as far as I can tell. Like,
oh, okay.
I was very impressed with the whole thing. There's no like pay to win. I bought the season pass for $10, and that just lets you get experience faster, which makes you get cards faster. But if you just standard play, you can get everything. You can get the premium currency through regular play, and so it's a great way that they monetize it. They really threw a lot of money at this too. Like if you watch the trailer for this, it has who's the agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., the black guy. Anyway.
Nick Fury?
Yeah, Nick Fury. And it's like...
Samuel Jackson?
It's Samuel Jackson.
Mace Windu.
Yeah, Mace Windu. And there's like a whole scene, like, and it's well shot and all that. They got that Marvel money. So, I think this is going to be a cash cow for them. Although, not predatory. At least I didn't think so. And I didn't have to buy that $10 thing at all. Like, I only just did it kind of to keep up with Chad because he was getting so many more cards than I was. But it doesn't make you more strong. It just makes you... It allows you to have different deck types. That's all. The starting cards are super strong. Yeah. You start with Hulk. He's a 12 power.
Maybe down at level 28, dude. I don't know. Maybe when you start getting into the big leagues.
No, yeah, I know.
The meta changes.
No, but there isn't. That's the thing. Like, I probably have 75% of the cards already. There's not that many cards. I'm sure next season there'll be a bunch more. But, yeah. Really well balanced.
I mean, if it is what you say it is, and it's not predatory, it might be a mobile game that I can finally get into.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like mobile games, and and 2 or 3 minutes a game, like, it's great. It's so casual, in that way, and that whole snapping thing, man. Like, you're like, I got this, snap them, and then then you end up losing. And you're like, fuck, I lost level 28. I'm level 26 again. It's good.
Is it? Am I understanding this? I just quickly looked up because I was curious. It says the max level is 22,366. That can't be right, right?
I don't know. But basically, you're anteing your experience. And the way that you unlock cards is your level. So you're basically risking your ability to get new cards by playing. It's a very good game, very good system.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, cool beans.
Cool beans.
I was not scorned by it.
Yeah, it's good that you weren't scorned by it because I was scorned by Scorn.
Meat
Um,
machines.
Yeah, I tried Scorn because I was curious, just even from the artistic side of things. Because it was inspired by H.R. Geiger, and I'm probably gonna butcher his name, but I think it's Sidslaw Berkinski, Berksinski. I'm terrible. I don't know. Anyway, so the art part of this was really fascinating, I thought. I really, really wish this was in VR because I think if it was in VR, one, I definitely would have judged it differently, and then two, like it's better made for VR. I think it's way more of trying to be like an atmospheric piece than any kind of thing with gameplay because there isn't really much combat in it. The puzzles are super basic and I thought kind of boring, and like so much of the game itself I thought was boring, even though the atmosphere was so fucking cool. So it's like I really wish it just would have been VR because it would have been a phenomenal, creepy, twisted VR game. But because it's not, I do feel like it really lacks when you're trying to actually just like play it. I don't know. I ended up getting bored by it, but it's also kind of fascinating. It was a good move to put it on Xbox Game Pass and it be free. I would check it out and see how long you can play it. I mean, I played it for maybe about an hour and then I was like, yeah, I'm bored. And then I watched a bit more of it because I was a little curious of the story. And I don't know. It just kind of lost thunder for me, even though it was kind of neat. I think it would have made the world if it was just in VR.
I
think,
haven't played it. I have to agree with you, Dave. Like if you're selling atmosphere, why not put it in the best atmosphere engine you can?
Exactly.
I was gonna say, I think this game, if they made it like into a Doom clone, like a boomer shooter, just this atmosphere would be so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like it would be so gnarly and so creepy, or like make it like a hunt game, like Alien Isolation or something like that, where something's trying to kill you the whole time. Because, dude, every single person I know that's played this game says the same thing. It's boring.
Well,
Dude,
I kind of get what they're getting at though too, man, is that like it's not really meant to be like a true shooter or anything like that. Like it is kind of navigating through this labyrinth in this world because that's how at least like looking into the artist, like that's kind of how they would want it. But yeah, if you're going to make an entire like art unique hybrid game piece thing, I still just think it should have been put on VR. It would have been absolutely spectacular and something like that because VR is really a wonderful area to develop these kind of hybrids of stuff. And
yeah.
I get why they wanted to do so much more focus on these kind of puzzles because H.R. Geiger has a huge relaying theme of insertion, and so like there's a whole bunch of things where you have to insert things in your arm and insert parts of it, and it's just like it's its theme, and I get it, but it's just I don't know, it falls flat with a game.
Hey Nick, I know you were waiting for the next generation VR, or what are you thinking about that Oculus Prime or whatever that's called?
Oh, dude, for that price tag, I'd rather just buy an Index and not deal with Facebook at all.
Yeah, what is it? $1,500, I think, right?
It's $1,300 for the base model.
1,300. Yeah, it's pricey.
For the base model, yeah.
And
I
what?
think there's one that comes with like a cord that you need or something like that. That's like 15.
Okay.
I really don't think VR is where it should be for that kind of a price tag, but I don't know.
I
It's
think
just me.
companies need to learn to take a hit on VR like they do for consoles. Because, like, what was it? When they sold the PS5, they were taking a $150 hit on every single console sold. But, like, it turned out that they made just a crap ton of money when they ended up not
on the
worrying
software.
about how much they made. Because
Yeah.
if someone
Yeah.
has a console, they're going to use it, dude.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna buy games for it, and when your game like income is sold and you get like $10 a copy, and a game sells fucking 1 million copies like GTA, then yeah, everybody's making money.
Like old Zucky, he was on he was on Rogan, and a very good interview. I highly suggest everybody listen to it. Yeah, like I said before, he came off as human for the first time, so I thought that was pretty good. But he talks about, it's not so much gaming. Gaming isn't really his focus with this. Mostly he's like trying to connect people or whatever. So I think he's going more towards he really, really thinks that office meetings is going to happen in a virtual or AR space pretty soon. And he wants to be on the front line of that. So man.
People have have a hard enough time figuring out Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
We've all been
think
in
that's
those
a pipe
meetings.
dream.
Yeah, wait like 20 years when all those people that suck at IT die. Yeah, well, maybe we might get where 30% of people can do it.
He wants to be on the cutting edge, but like he made this thing, or they released this thing, and they're like, we just added leg to like our chat space, and everyone's like, dude, you're fucking behind. Hurry up! Like, get up here. Like legs, it's been around for a while. Let's go.
Yeah.
But if it starts going the way that he wants it to go or whatever, even his own company, I think he tried to start having AR meetings, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't own this thing, dude. We don't have VR." His own company, his own employees were like, "We don't have VR," so he had to hand out a bunch of headsets. But yeah,
my buddy has been testing this for the past 5 months. Like he's part of the dev team for it.
Okay.
And he's like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. No one fucking has one.
Mm.
He's like, it's like the dev team doesn't need to do meetings with this thing, and the people that want to do meetings in AR just don't go to the fucking device cafe and get one for free. Because, dude, I've been to the Facebook campus. It's a trip. I would love to try to work for them or something, but you literally can go to a vending machine, type in a button, and like, boom, new computer.
Damn.
And like it's assigned to your badge. Like you need headphones, boom, brand new set of headphones. There is no like, go to the tech guy and ask for and sign out a thing. No, it's not even close to that. It's just scan your badge, get your shit, go do your work. Like you can drink at work. They give you taxi vouchers to be able to go home if you get too drunk at work. There's 24 places to eat on the campus to include like a ridiculously good barbecue spot, and like. There's Indian food, barbecue food, vegan food, vegetarian food.
Is that in the Bay Area?
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's in San Mateo. I don't know.
That's where all your data dollars are going. Is for that.
Yeah.
Speaking of tech and Bay Area, I think Google is headquarters up there, and they make the Pixel phone. I just switched back to a Pixel after having my Samsung Note 20 Ultra for...
Was it because you took my phone?
Where's my phone, guys?
We were looking for Daisy's phone for fucking, about 15 minutes when I realized it was in my pocket. Because we have the exact same phone.
Everybody looking.
Yeah. We have the exact same phone. With like, the cases are similar, the whole thing. No, I've missed having a Pixel ever since. Even though our phone days is incredible. It's one of the best phones I've ever had. Sam is kind of like regretting. She wants to go back to it even from the Pixel, just because the Pixel has its own way of working. It's not like Samsung's. So anyway, it probably has the best point and click camera in the whole space right now. The pictures that I'm taking are. If it's not incredible on the first shot, the editing tool is so easy. It's like, do you like your picture, or do you want one of these other 4 variants? And these other 4 variants are like so good. You could add portrait mode afterwards if you want. You could add motion blur. You can do so much stuff with this camera and the phone. And the UI, I personally really like the UI. The Samsung phones, always has a bar on the bottom for a home button and a back button, and that's taking up real estate on your phone. So this doesn't have that. You go, the back button and the home button are through gestures, so you get a lot more screen real estate. You're not losing 15% to to a little bar at the bottom that's making buttons for you. So I appreciated that part. The camera's been great. The price is really good. The regular one is like $500, I think, maybe 600, and then the Pro is like 800 or 900, something like that. And then they gave me $500 for my old phone. So like, and then they give you $200 Google credit on the Google store. So like, really, if you count that in, I paid like $150 for this phone. So and I have the best camera available, and a UI that I appreciate more.
I have a good question for you.
Go ahead.
So I have a Pixel 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did it tell you that you can take photos by double tapping the lock button and then pressing the down button on the volume?
Yes.
Yeah, dude. It's like for those who don't have a Pixel, there's a bunch of gestures that are not exactly unique to the Pixel, but the way they do them is really awesome. The time it takes to pull out your phone, double tap the lock button, and press the volume down button all at the same time, like to take a picture of like an event, like say like your kid is chasing a dog and it looks hilarious. By the time you get it up to point the camera, like it's already ready to go.
Yeah.
Like some phones, like you click the camera app, it's like it takes 12 seconds to load the fucking app. It takes all this other shit, and then you're just like, oh, well, there goes the moment,
And not just that, but if you're like in a real hurry and you take a blurry picture because you were moving the camera when you took it, it's got this fix a picture ability because it's all doing it, using AI. So it figures out why it's blurry and it unblurs your pictures. Not just that, but you can go into all your old pictures in Google Photos and you can fix them all. You can just go one by one and just like lighting them up and all this stuff. So you don't have to have had taken the picture with this thing in order to use it for the editing. Like it can fix any picture basically. Yeah. It's incredible, guys. Like it's
Dude,
so
you know
good.
what I love about the Pixelverse, right? Or whatever, is that you get these daily or weekly reminders where it's like, a year ago you took these photos, and then you're like, oh yeah, my daughter couldn't even stand up then, or like, oh yeah, 5 years ago I got really drunk at this bar and met my wife or whatever.
It'll
like
make a collage and it'll put music behind it and it'll be like, hey, check this out. We thought you might appreciate this. And you're like, I do appreciate this. It's awesome.
You can order any photo as a physical photo
from Google Photos. That makes sense.
You just click on the item, you just add it to a library, and then just go to Google Photos, and then you can go to the Google Photos app and then click order, and you just check which ones you want to order and how big you want them and how small you want them. You pick them up at Walgreens.
Anyway,
pretty cool.
Especially for the price, like my old phone was $1,200. This was $900, and it competes. I think it's probably the best value out there for sure. Yeah, Bobby, is it time?
Never will go back to a.
I don't know, man. I want to see how long my Pixel 2 can go, dude. It's going the distance.
I still have a Pixel 2. Like I have one like as a backup phone. That shit was still working when my wife broke her phone like 7 months ago. She used it for like a month, and she's like, "This shit still goes."
I'm on like 4 years and a couple months with this phone. I had a Note 4 for 4 years, and the battery started going, but that's when batteries were replaceable in phones back then. But I eventually sold it and got the Pixel 2, but this thing's just been a tank. And I never use my camera except to take pictures of things at work, like if I need a serial number or a barcode or something, things like that. So I'm not too concerned about the camera. And I got to say, there are a few things that I'm starting to notice. It doesn't get updates anymore, like security updates it'll get. The built-in email application won't load pictures, but I just switched to Outlook now. Yeah, little things like that. Sometimes it crashes when I'm scrolling through the Google feed or whatever. It's pretty rare though. Little things, but I mean I can live with it. But yeah, dude, I paid $800 for this phone when it came out back in 2018. So it's pretty good if the new. I just figured prices were just going to keep going up and up and up.
Yeah, they because they're not putting the top hardware, and it does everything smart through software. They're saving a lot of money on hardware, so they can sell it at the cheaper price. Chris, I just put 2 pictures on Real Life Share just to show They didn't look this good when I took them, but you literally you look at the picture, you hit the edit button, you hit another button, and it's done. Like I thought they were really good pictures, considering I had a big fucking flashlight right in my face. But yeah,
Nice.
that's Christian's birthday.
Are these good pictures?
I think so. They look good
Okay.
on my phone anyway.
Yeah, cool.
All right.
Nice.
So we're gonna move on to listener questions, but we're gonna put off answering some of the questions because we're saving them for our Halloween episode, which is gonna be next week. We're recording it live at 12 p.m. PST. So check us out, dlgaming.net. You can get to our Twitch channel. There may even be some people dressed up in costumes, although you can only see us from like the neck up. So, make sure you dress up from the neck up is what I'm saying if you choose to do that. But yeah, we're going to talk all about video games, answer your scary questions next week. So check us out live. Quick shout out to the Drill Bit subscribing for 17 months. He says, Emilio looks like the Mexican Shrek. Okay.
I'll take that.
There's your Halloween costume. And Smajeff, 31 months, says, hello, friends.
He also says the Pixel 7 Pro is the best Android experience I've had since the OG Pixel. Since the device, I've had 3, 4, 5G, and the Samsung S22. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, well, that's Jeff Sunday. That's a different Jeff.
Oh, Jeff Sundays. All these Jeffs.
Yeah. I mean, I will
many
stick
Jeffs?
with I will stick with the Pixel phones just because I had Samsungs for a long time and they throw on all these extra apps on there. There's just a bunch of crap. I don't know if they still do it, but that's how it used to be.
The bloatware.
Yeah, and then when
it's still there.
okay. And when I got a Pixel, I was just like, oh, okay, they put on the Google apps and that's it, and it was just like a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you can uninstall those too. You can uninstall some of the Google apps.
Yeah, Samsung won't let you uninstall the Samsung apps.
Yeah, it had like a football TV one and like all this other garbage that I just wouldn't have ever used.
Yeah, one last thing. My Samsung had had all the Samsung stuff, and then it has all the T-Mobile stuff on top of that. And I'm still with T-Mobile, but I have none of the bloatware on this phone. There's zero T-Mobile presence
That's
on
nice.
it. So it's very nice.
The one thing my Note 4 did have that I miss, it had something in it that the Pixel doesn't, that let me download an app and use it as a remote control for my TV. So I could turn my TV on with my phone. That was kind of nice.
You can do that now.
Oh, yeah,
still.
yeah, Dex. That's Samsung
yeah.
Dex, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that with my LG TV for my daughter in her room. Like,
Is it through
put on a movie.
Chromecast, though? Because I know you can do that with like a Chromecast or a Fire Stick or something.
mm-mm.
But this
No,
just
it-
like actually, like I downloaded
Yeah.
the Samsung remote app for, because
it
I
still doesn't
Yeah,
work.
it's called Dex now. Basically, it puts your screen on the screen up, and it's a 1-to-1. So if you move around, like the stylus would be your mouse. Basically,
No, this is not what I'm talking about.
Oh.
I'm talking about like you have you buy a TV, you get a remote control.
Oh,
I have
gotcha,
that
gotcha.
on my phone.
I'm sure there's an app. There's probably another app that does that.
Well, I looked it up at the time, and it wasn't a matter of it being an app. It was the hardware. Like there was like an infrared thing in the Note 4 that allowed me to actually do that. I downloaded the same app on the Pixel. It wouldn't work.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway, let's get to our listener question here. This is coming from Hogglefosh. And he has a hypothetical question for us. A Neuralink allows you to enter a fully immersive reality where every aspect is your choosing. When linked, your body is hooked up to adequate nutrient intake and muscle stimulus. Do you get the operation, assuming it has the safety risks of other procedures such as plastic surgery? And 2, what if entering the linked state is permanent? Do you swap reality for your perfect virtualized world?
Added incentive.
Ooh.
If every human did this, it would be completely environmentally sustainable. You're basically talking about heaven for me, man. Because
It's like the Matrix, but with no drawbacks.
yeah, you could. I would play Helm's Deep over and over and over. Like keep doing it until I fucking kill all those damn orcs, and just like come up with stuff for forever until I get bored and then I'll off myself. But it all depends on like how my my family, what their situation is. I can't just check out. I got a lot of responsibilities. Maybe when I
Mila,
was older,
Luna,
like
Sam,
right after
bye.
responsibilities and pre-dementia would be a perfect spot to like do this. So yes, under those circumstances, 100%. Right
Me
at
and
retirement. At retirement, I would 100% do this.
Me and Leslie would send Vivian to like boarding school, and we would just like join the Star Trek universe and just just do shit in space.
Dude, show her Star Trek Bridge Crew, and maybe that'll be the thing so that you guys can buy the VR.
Yeah, that and I don't have a job still.
Yeah,
so
you get a job, dude.
I'm trying.
All right.
I think I would get the operation. And I don't know, I'd want to connect into like a way of flying.
You can do whatever you want
Yeah.
once you're in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'd be really nervous though about like if it was permanent. I don't know if I'd want to swap my life. I don't think I'd want to swap my life.
And then you
But
might
even
end
if it
up
was
living
permanent,
forever.
can't you just conceivably just change it back
Yeah, like,
to a
it
modified
basically-
version of normal reality?
Yeah.
Right? Like that would be my question is that like if you had to swap but it's virtual reality and you can do whatever, like you could in theory just replicate your life. I
Yeah.
mean, you'd be living in the Matrix and you would know that it's a lie, but
You just you just turn on the most basic filter in like everybody's waffles or something.
wow,
You're
that's
like,
so
well,
rude.
this is what I have to deal with.
All right.
Bobby?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It seems kind of fishy. Like it all sounds really good, but then there's got to be a catch somewhere, right? Or maybe I just watched too many movies. And
You're almost doing the opposite, right? Because you're an AI that's in our regular world right now, so it'd be the inverse of that.
yeah,
All right. I will be playing Plague Tale Requiem coming up. When do I do the rundown? I don't remember. Should I do it now?
During the credits. No, during the credits.
Okay. What are you guys playing this week?
Oh, you know I'm playing Tarkov.
It's-
Probably check out some VR stuff.
Days was just showing
Yeah.
showing us all her sketches and like
My doodles.
doodles of like I don't know, good stuff here circling on the map or whatever she does. I don't know what it's all for.
I drew like a car battery because I need car batteries.
Yeah.
Car batteries and spark plugs. son.
Bobby, it sounds like
Pretty
you're gonna keep
much.
playing the Golden Idol.
yeah, but I like to play something new, so I'll find something. You know, I don't know. I want to get into like something for the season, something scary, but not something that's super long. So we'll see.
Hi.
It's a surprise.
Okay. Ve pa afuera.
Nice.
All right, she's stuck in here. She's a permanent fixture now.
I'm most likely going to be playing more Phasmophobia as Halloween approaches.
Nice.
All right.
Is that everybody? Okay, so for On the Radar, we had Silent Hill F, which was fucking scary. Can a Bridge of Spirits, which was like a third-person cartoony spirit game. We had Hyper Demon, which was way too hyper for us old people. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's like 30 games for $30. A Plague Tale Requiem. I'll be playing that next week. Rats. Evoland, a game that evolves as you play. In highlights, we had Rogue Genesia, which is a vampire survival. Brotato, which is one that's not as pretty. We got Shootas, Blood, and Teef, which is orcs shooting stuff as they do. The Case of the Golden Idol. Bobby's probably going to be finishing that up this week, maybe if it doesn't get too hard. Isle of Pan, garbage. Marvel Snap, one of the best mobile games I've played in a long time. Scorn, she was Scorn, and the Pixel 7, great place to upgrade right now. All right, speaking for Nick, Chris, Amanda, Bobby, and myself, Hyper Titties. Bam, 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 bam.
Do they still call those Steam pages community hubs?
Yeah, they have that.
Yes, they do.
Click on it.
So the one for Scorn, you could say it's a Scornhub.
Oh!
Hey.
Well, Chris was not appreciative of that.
All right. Ba-dum-bum-ba-dum-bum.
Can we get an in memoriam for Chris's pedo stash?
Oh,
Yeah, what happened to the mustache?
yeah, dude.
Oh man, it was an executive vote.
It was the
What?
cats
It
and
was
my wife
tied.
versus me.
It was tied 1-1. I said, "Hey, you want a kiss?" She said, "Not really." I said, "Oh, well, it's the way she goes."